Welcome everybody to episode 16 of the Harrison Brinker Show. It's the beautiful 16. Are you excited? You know who's not excited? Did you guys see this? Dave Grohl announced he's having a baby outside of his marriage. He cheated on his wife, everybody. Turns out he was the pretender all along. This really puts a monkey wrench in the gears. What happened, Dave? Some young lady get the best of you? Maybe instead of learning to fly, you could learn to pull out, my friend. I'm just kidding. Today we're going to talk about music. Not just covers like we did a couple weeks ago. I'm going to show you a song I saw on Instagram that I hated so much, it inspired me to write my own song. And then I'm going to complain about how there's not service everywhere in America. And then Colin's going to join, and we're going to talk about all the times we've gotten in trouble. So I hope you're looking forward to that. Mr. Colin Blair, of course, will be joining us. And other than that, that's it. That's the whole episode. So I hope you're excited. Stick around. It's going to be fun. I'll see you in a second. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. What is this, episode 16 of the Harrison Brinker Show? That's so exciting. Double digits again. We should call MTV and throw a party. I hope you're all having a good week. I hope nothing crazy has happened in the time I've recorded this and it's been uploaded. That would be embarrassing. What's new with you guys? Anything exciting? Anything good? I'll tell you a little bit about me. I went out to Texas Roadhouse last night with some friends, a very high-end restaurant out here west. And they have these rolls, these bread rolls with like cinnamon butter you get before your meal. You can just eat all of them. You can have 100 of those. They can't kick you out of the restaurant. It's illegal. But I was cutting through one to put butter into the middle of it. Some people just put the butter on the outside. I like to cut it in half and put the butter right in the middle. And I was holding it and cutting them down with the knife. And I took a chunk out of my finger. Can you see that? That red dot? I don't know if the camera focuses. And it's like, it's about as small of a chunk as you can get and still call it a chunk. But it's not just like, oh, I sliced a cut in my finger. It's like, no, I literally chopped. I was holding it and chopped the tip of the very tip, very puny, very tip of my finger off. So that's embarrassing because it was so stupid. Anyway, I don't have Band-Aids, so I've been just scotch taping it shut. I went to the eye doctor the other day because I'm about to quit my job, but I get insurance through my work, and the one benefit of having this insurance, I guess, through this company is you can, if you schedule an appointment and use your insurance, you get a $100 credit direct deposited into your account, and I don't need to go to the doctor, or if I do, I don't know about it. There's a lot of things that I think I might have ADHD. I might have OCD. Not that you need to go to the doctor for that, I guess. But there's a lot of things that might be wrong with me, but I don't want to know about it. Like if I have ADHD, I've made it this far without knowing it, so I'd rather just keep that up and never be told that I have it or anything. But so I don't like to go to the doctor. But if I'm going to get $100, I might as well go. So I scheduled an appointment at the eye doctor because I figured that'd be the easiest like walk-in appointment to get. So I scheduled an appointment, went in, figured it would just be quick in and out, like, oh, check my eyes, and then I'll get my $100, please. Which first they've changed. I had glasses as a kid, and I remember going to the eye doctor, but they've changed up like how it works. Where now, or at least from what I remember, when I went first with the nurse, they just had like a paper poster of letters that get smaller and smaller, right? Like we've all seen that in movies and stuff, but you would think nowadays that you could just use like a screen and change the numbers and change the letters, but they just had a poster, and the lady asked me to read it, so I read the bottom line, and then she goes, okay, now cover an eye and read another line. And the lines, I chose the bottom one to show off. And then she asked me to read another one, so I had to read the next one up, which was a little easier to read. And then she asked me to cover my other eye and read another line, and I'm thinking like, can I just pick the same line? And I asked her that, and she said yes. So then I was thinking, like, well, why wouldn't I just cheat then and just pretend like I have good vision? No one wants to come here and be told they need glasses. Anyway, so I went there and was told I needed glasses. Then because I got sent into the doctor, and he was talking to me like I already was on the same page about me needing glasses. So he's like, yeah, so you're farsighted. We'll get you a pair of frames here out in the lobby. Go take your pick. And I'm just thinking, wait, what are you talking about? I just came here for the free money I was going to get at work. I had no intention of actually needing glasses, so that's embarrassing. I had a pair have glasses somewhere. I wear these readers because I guess subconsciously or consciously knew that my vision wasn't that great, but I figured if I could just wear readers from CVS that I'd get by and I'd be fine. But I guess that's indicative of having poor eyesight. So I've been wearing those for like 4 years without really thinking, oh, I probably just have bad vision. So I'm an idiot. I got a phone call from, I'm just going through my week here. I got a phone call from a SweetWater rep because I guess I signed up for some SweetWater giveaway I forgot about. And at work the other day, I got a phone call from a guy saying like, hey, this is Manuel from SweetWater. I'm your personal assistant. If you have any questions, I saw you were on the website. What are you looking for? And I kind of told him like, well, I do a podcast. I guess I was looking at new mixers and stuff. He's like, oh, what's your podcast called? I'll check it out. So Manuel, if you're watching, thank you. I've been thinking about you all week. I will be buying a new mixer from SweetWater, Manuel, but it won't be for another like 2 months. So don't think I forgot about you. It's just I don't need to buy one right now. Also, last thing here, I got a pimple on my lip like last week, and it made my lip all fat and made my whole face look different. And I was thinking like, I guess this is how the addiction to Botox starts, because there was a part of me that was like, I should get the other lip filled in with something so I look even, and maybe that'll make me look cute. So I'm not a fan of cosmetic surgery, but I can understand it now, at least, why people do that. We got a good one for you this week. That's all I did this past week, but this episode's going to be fun. I'm going to cut right to the chase. We're going to talk this week again about music, but not why covers stink like we did a couple weeks ago. We're going to talk about a song that I saw on Instagram that really bugged me, but out of that frustration came inspiration. So without further ado, everybody, episode 16 of the Harrison Brinker Show.
This is our trick shot video.
The grounder.
Oh! Yeah!
Lately on Instagram, I've been seeing a lot of music pop up advertised to me, and I always download it right away. I put it right in my Spotify playlist, whether it's good or bad, because I want to stay in that algorithm. This is one I heard, this is like 6 months ago now, but Neon Graveyard by the Acid Sisters. This song's pretty fun. It's pretty creepy. It's a good song to drive late at night to on your way back from work if you're like really angry at your boss. But it's fun. I like this punky, weird girl bands. I don't know why, but for some reason they're just more fun. If I'm like, oh, a girl can do it? This is pretty good. I heard another one, Fir Tree Rockstar by Front Porch Beatnik. I like their sound. It's a fun song to like do the dishes to, or like run during the springtime with your shirt off. They have that Foster the People, like, Robert's got a quick hand, like a tinny voice filter on. Let's go to the chorus. Rocketeer. Right? So this song's fun. So like I said, I've just been downloading like every song that comes by my comes to my desk or whatever. Comes to my attention. That way I stay in that algorithm, and then I can brag about like how long I've been listening to these hipster bands by the time they get famous. Imagine being able to say you knew Vampire Weekend back in 2006. One time I was listening to Vampire Weekend at school, and I asked my teacher, I was like, do you know Vampire Weekend? He goes, no, is it this weekend? Thought that was funny. Anyway, so I see these songs pop up, but I saw one a little while ago pop up. It's by a band called Goes the Dynamite, which I hate, by the way, because I really hate the whole, like, oh, let's just take a phrase and then chop it in half, and now that's, like, our thing, right? So that new song, or that new movie's coming out about Saturday Night Live, and it's just called Saturday Night. Oh, we're going to make a band. It's called, is it Boom Goes the Dynamite? No, this one just Goes the Dynamite. Oh, we're going to make a Bob Dylan movie. It's called Like a Complete Unknown. It's just like a sentence fragment, but that's just a trend now. I really don't like it, but maybe I'll make an episode about that later. Anyway, so these guys popped up on my Instagram, and for the first time, I had not downloaded the song. I thought it was too bad to download. I didn't even want to risk getting that sort of stuff in my algorithm, and I left a comment. Actually, Colin and I both did. He'll talk about that later. Or all we said was, this song stinks. Very shortly after that, we were blocked by the band. But I'll show you their song just to prove that I wasn't being a liar when I said that song was bad. Let's hear it. It's very derivative. I don't like this video. I don't like the comic book filter, but let's listen to the song. It's got that 80s vibe. I'll try to talk over it so it doesn't look like I'm just ripping off their song copyright-wise. Anyway, let's go to the chorus. Tell me that good news tonight. I don't like that guitar either. I don't like the pickups. This video is cheesy, but whatever. I'll give him a, you know, I'll let it slide on the video. But that song I didn't think was good, and I didn't like that that's now what was getting pushed onto me on Instagram. Like, the songs I showed you before, maybe it's not your cup of tea, but they were well made, and I liked them. But now all of a sudden it's just like, hey, you know what? If you have the money, just show off whatever you want. It doesn't have to be good. You can just promote your song. And I was looking at this band, and I knew something was off about their sound. And I was looking at this band. First of all, when they go through the credits of the band, they don't list a drummer. You need a drummer. What are you using, a machine? You're not a real band. They wrote in their description, eschewing the traditional approach. Eschewing. A little pretentious, especially when you're talking about, oh, we got rid of that whole tradition thing. Yeah, I wouldn't go so far as to say that that was a good idea. This song sucks. Write a few songs. This is what they say the tradition is. Write a few songs, book some gigs, start playing out. The group opted instead to focus solely on writing and recording their first album, so they never played any gigs, admittedly. This isn't a lie. You can't sue me. This is what you said in your description. They never played any gigs. They just went right to making the song. Not a good way to go about it, you know, in this new age of, oh, well, you can just get a SoundCloud contract. Like, not really, you know, Post Malone's really the only guy who got famous from SoundCloud. Can you name anybody else who did that? There's only like 2 YouTubers that have ever been in a movie. Like, it's not really a thing, you know. You can't just be like, oh, well, the internet, anyone can get famous. I'm like, well, not if you stink. You know, Post Malone is good. That's why he got famous. It's not just because he posted his stuff onto SoundCloud. It's because he was good. You can't just not do gigs and then just force feed everyone your music by paying the Instagram ad fee and running all the, like, now I'm scrolling on Instagram Reels and seeing your song. You're not going to trick me into going, oh, well, because it's a band, then I like it. It's like, well, no, this song stinks. And you shouldn't get mad at me for commenting about how bad the song is. And before you say, Harrison, it must be easy to sit there and critique a song. You know, it's not that easy to write a song. I say, well, I'm very much aware of that. In fact, I made my own song. Let's listen to it right now. Party weekends are fun. The action I wrote this song myself. I'm gonna call everyone. What do you think? I'm gonna text all my friends. Blacked out last night, phone didn't get plugged in. I dropped to my knees, that's a party sin. When you throw a fiesta, you gotta have what you need. You gotta have what you need. He didn't mean to molest ya. He thought you were Riley Reid. Charge my phone. What do you think so far? Then I head to the store. When I get to the store, I have to open the door. Beer man inside tells me he's all sold out. Oh no. Here's what a party is all about. Now we're at the solo part. So far, what do you guys think? Is this up to par with Goes the Dynamite? Also, I didn't have enough time to make a music video, so this is just footage from Project X and other like frat parties I saw on Instagram. And of course, riots in Portland. Give off the party vibe. He said it's just a joke. We still have plenty of beer. And it's all on the house. What a friendly cashier. I don't really know what to do with it. I gave the man a big high five. This'll be the best night of our effing life. Our weekend was so festive. We'll have to do it again. Everyone got arrested. Even my dog named Ren. It's my dog. So when you plan a shindig, you gotta have what you need. Gotta have what you need. Follow me and you'll win big. more than you'd ever conceive. What do you guys think? That was inspired by that band. I wrote that song out of spite in one day just to prove how easy it is to write a song. And you'll say, Harrison, that song wasn't good. What's your point? That is my point. It's easy to write a shitty song. You don't need to go proving it to everybody on Instagram that you made a song. I did that in one day. Your description says that that took you 4 years to come up with? I wrote this song in a day. One day, yesterday, I sat and recorded myself. If you think it stinks, that's the point. It's not hard to make a shitty song. You don't need to show it to everybody. So yes, just because I am yelling at you and critiquing and saying this song stinks, before you get to say, well, how, where do you come off with all this? Have you ever tried to write a song? Yes. And it sucked. By the way, they had written in their caption saying, this is 2024's Song of the Summer, which I thought was unfair. Like, you don't get to tell me if this is the Song of the Summer. That's up to me to listen to it over the summer. You can't just put it out during the summer and say, this song is the Song of the Summer. No one's ever heard of it. But if you do like that one, listen to that next summer. I kind of came out with it a little late. It's September already, but you're only allowed to listen to that during the summer. If I hear anyone playing that during December, you're dead, all right?
Aloha.
I had to pick up my roommate from the airport like 2 months ago, but I live in Utah and I was driving to the Vegas airport, and on the way there's just like 40 minutes of just nothing. I have to drive through Arizona. It's just called the Gorge. It's this nice, beautiful, rocky, in and out of mountains for like 40 minutes until you get to any sort of anything, civilization. And about 10 minutes into the drive, I cross over the Arizona border and I realize I did not get gas before I left. And then bing, 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 the gas light comes on. Uh-oh. And then out of nowhere, my Spotify stops, which normally if I was listening to a song like Goes the Dynamite's I Want It, I would be okay with Spotify cutting out. But I was nervous because I realized I'm out of gas and I just lost signal. Obviously, nothing bad happened. I ended up getting to a gas station. I'm fine. I picked up my roommate. This is months ago, so if anything crazy happened, you would have heard about it. My point is, it did get me to think, I've thought this before, but every time it happens, I think about it again. How are we not at a point in America yet, in technology or whatever, where we don't have service everywhere in the country? And that's not a first world problem. Oh, that must be so hard to not have internet. Yeah, because it's not like this. At least in the 70s, when you pulled your car over, people would stop and help you. Like, we're at a point now where no one wants to interact with each other, so you can't just say, oh, it must be bad to not have a phone. It's like, well, it'd be fine if it was the 50s again when you had a horse and buggy and everyone was nice to each other. No one would stop for you on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere nowadays, all right? So, yeah, we do need the internet. And you see Elon Musk is like, oh, well, I'm going to send internet to Africa and this weird tribe that, just got addicted to porn because they used the internet for the first time. And I'm just thinking, hey, Elon, there's a lot of places in America that don't have internet yet. I'm all for advancing these countries or these tribes or whatever that are a little behind, and we can kind of give them a little boost. Like, here's the internet, guys. We came up with it a while ago, so we'll just give it to you. Here's the internet. Can we do that in Arizona? Why are there still places in America without internet if Elon Musk is now just sent, oh, it's not hard to give anybody internet? Okay, then why don't we have it everywhere? You know what I mean? That's all. I guess I'm just a greedy capitalist pig who thinks I deserve everything. But you know what? Americans invented internet. I think we should be the ones to have it everywhere. And I don't think that's rude to say. I'm okay if Ukraine has it. But it's like Mormons when they go on missions and they're going all the way to like Mogadishu. And it's just like, look, I'm all for spreading religion, I guess. But there's plenty of places in America that don't believe in Jesus. But you're going all the way across the world to go like prove that Jesus is king and we need to follow Christianity and Joseph Smith. And it's like, go to San Francisco. There's plenty of Americans a lot more similar to you that don't believe in God. If you want to spread the word, why not start here? Why are you having to go across the different oceans to be able to spread the word? Is it a money thing? I don't want to make enemies with people that are trying to launder money through religion. I'm just saying it doesn't really make sense to me. It's how I feel about the internet. Why are we giving it away in other places when we don't even have it here yet? But once we get it here, yeah, we can do whatever we want. Give it to everybody. Anyway, Colin Blair, everybody. Like I said earlier, he's going to be talking about his side of the story with the whole getting blocked on Instagram, and then we're going to share a couple tales of times we've gotten in trouble on social media and in real life. So without further ado, Colin Blair. Hello?
We're here with Mr. Colin Blair.
Please welcome our pal Colin. Please welcome Colin.
Colin. I'm here with Colin. Hello, honey.
I was always going to talk movies with Colin.
I better brush my teeth. Colin's here.
To this day, I still have a good relationship with Colin.
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Colin.
Congrats on your engagement to Colin.
Here with an editorial, my good friend Colin.
Hey, Joseph, it's Colin.
Oh, my cousin.
Oh, Colin's on the show. Oh, I better freshen up. Colin's here. Oh,
One of the greatest, nicest, best ever.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 16, the interview portion of the show. Of course, yet again, as promised, we have Mr. Colin Blair here. Thank you, Colin, for making time in your busy schedule to join us today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
How was your day?
Pretty good. I worked 45 minutes late today, so it was busy.
Oof.
A very busy day.
What'd you have to do? Clean up boss's mess?
No, just extra. Month in accounting, there's month-end time. So it's busy. I have a lot of stuff to do when it's month-end. So, yeah.
I got glasses in the meantime. I talked about it in the beginning of this episode, but now it's been a couple days since I filmed that part, and now that it's whatever day today is, Thursday. In the meantime, I got a pair of glasses, so I'll be getting used to these. That's all I have to say about it. I picked out the outfit to wear. Well, thank you, sir. My insurance paid for them. I picked out the outfit to wear before, obviously, getting the glasses, but now that it's all put together, I think I look too 80s, so I'll never be wearing a jean jacket again with these. I look like Rivers Cuomo. Anyway, let's get right into it, all right? The reason I brought you here today, Colin, as opposed to any other week, is because, well, nothing, just for fun, really. But I was talking earlier in the show about this band, Goes the Dynamite, and I found them on Instagram. And when I saw their post, they had their song. I played it for everybody earlier. I Want It. Go check it out. We don't want any trouble from Goes the Dynamite. But the caption on the video was Summer Pop Jam of the Year or something like that. And then I sent it to you saying, Summer Jam, this song stinks. And then you said, don't worry, I got you covered. Something of the sort. Don't worry, I left a comment for you. Mm-hmm. So then I check out the original post, which maybe had 3 views on it, and it just had one comment from Mr. Colin Blair saying, "Song stinks." So we shared a good laugh over it, and almost, maybe not even 2 minutes later, you sent me another DM saying they deleted the comment already. So then I thought, well, it's my turn to get revenge. And only 2 minutes after that, much to their dismay, much to their chagrin, I commented and said, "Song stinks." And almost immediately after that, we were both blocked by the account on Instagram, which initiated this whole rivalry we have with this band that doesn't know we exist, which encouraged me to write a spite song about them, about how easy it is to make a summer jam. And it is easy, as proven before in the show. Anyway, I guess that's the whole story. I don't really need to take it over to you to tell anything about it other than your feelings. How'd you Colin, tell us how you were feeling when you made that ballsy move to comment on that person's post telling them that their dreams should be shattered.
Well, yeah, when you sent me the song and you said the song stinks, I listened to it. I said, yeah, the song does stink. So I agreed right away. So I left that comment, and they deleted it within 2 minutes. So yeah. I guess that's what they do. So if there's people on that Instagram page looking through their comments of all the positive stuff, know that's only because they're deleting all the bad ones and then blocking those people because they cannot take criticism apparently. And it was a very simple comment: "Song stinks." All right, whatever. Right. You take it on the chin, you move on. You're a band. That's gonna happen.
Yeah. Make a better song. You'd use it as a constructive criticism, and you make a song just for us called the Harrison and Collins song, saying, all right, what do you guys think of this? Since clearly we're the only people listening to your music, or at least giving any sort of feedback, there They might be, to their credit, they might be deleting both good and the bad comments, because there were no good ones on there either. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, were we the only comments? I didn't remember that. Was it just?
Yeah,
you?
It was just us. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was bad. But I like that we did that though, because I mean, it obviously wasn't anything crazy. But when I'll post TikToks or YouTube Shorts, I mean, let me tell you, none of them are nice comments. But I can't be mad at them. It kind of gives me a reason to not be upset, because I like making those same comments to other accounts. So I'm not going to let myself get upset about YouTube and TikTok haters, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to make fun of anyone else. It's kind of like when there's a guy that drives like a cool Camaro, but you hate the guy. It's like, well, damn, now I can't ever get a Camaro because that guy I hate has one. Or something cooler or something. I don't know, like he got the red iPhone. It's like, damn. But yeah, I just thought that was a fun moment. But it inspired me to think about all the other times we've gotten ourselves into trouble, and but I just remembered one that I wanted to bring up, and before I forget it.
All right.
Speaking of social media, getting in trouble on social media, I don't know if you know this, I don't know if anyone at home knows this, but I am blocked on Twitter by the official PETA account, like the animal people. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh, because I sent a tweet.
I don't remember. If you told
this
me.
is like sophomore year of high school, but I tweeted at them once saying, "Hey PETA, if you made your profile picture like a dead dog, I think you'd get a little more support." They blocked me. I don't even think that was harmless or harmful. I think it was harmless. In fact, I think they owe me some money for such a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you just have like a cute dog running around, it's like everyone's like, oh, cool, cute dog, move on. But yeah, if you have like a dead cat, it's like, oh God, how could I prevent this from ever happening? And then they got you by the balls, or the vagina, depending on who you're talking to. Anyway, so that's one. That's 1 point for Harrison, another famous person I got blocked by on Twitter.
I've never been blocked by anyone on. Yeah, I've never gotten. I mean, other than that band we just talked about, I don't think I've been blocked by people other than them. I usually don't go at it on Twitter or Instagram or anything.
You usually don't what?
I usually don't go at it with people like that. Unless the song stinks, then I'll let people know the song stinks.
But that's not even your fault. That's like, well, what do you want me to do? It's like a visceral reaction. I really had no choice, and I don't blame you. But when have you gotten into trouble, Colin? You seem like a nice, well-rounded, polite guy, but I know on the surface that's true, but maybe behind the dark curtain there's something you're hiding.
No, like growing, like I was always deathly afraid of getting in any type of trouble. Like when I was growing up, so like as an example, but like in school, I was like younger, like elementary school and before then, like I was super annoying in class. That's for sure. Like I was just constant. Yeah, like I was just super annoying. So like an example, in fourth grade, I was just being dumb in class, and I kept like making a dumb face at one of my friends. And I just did it for like 10. I would like squeeze my cheeks together over my lips. I can't even do it anymore. But I kept like looking at him and doing that, and I would like squeeze my cheeks together, and he would start cracking up. But I just kept doing it throughout the class. It was a teacher I really liked, like, and he liked me, I think.
Oh, romantic.
But then, no, but then after a while, he just stopped class. He's like, "Colin, get out!" And he sent me to the hall, and I was just out in the hall. And I just started crying because that's what I would do when I would get in any kind of trouble. Yeah. I would just start crying. But it was like towards the end of class, so I was just sitting in the hall for the last 2 minutes. Then the bell goes off, so everyone out in their other classes start coming out, and they're all the people I know, all my friends, and I'm just out there crying. So I look like a giant baby. But anyways, like I guess that's kind of me getting in trouble. That's more of an example. Like I was just super afraid of getting in trouble. I would just cry.
Yeah. No, that's how I used to be. That's how I guess I don't know if it's because I'm afraid. I think now it's cool to say, like, I'm above that. But no, I was the same way as a kid. Like, any sort of confrontation, I was like, eh. One time this isn't getting in trouble. One time I got a bad haircut from my parents. And I knew it was a bad haircut. And then when I went to school, literally the first thing someone said to me was my friend Troy. He was like, "That's a whack-ass haircut," or something like that. And I just went, because I knew my haircut was whack-ass. Troy was right. But yeah, if I were you in that hallway, I would have just, if someone was like, "Why are you crying?" I would just be like, "You should see the other guy." Then you could be like, then you could have been cool.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I had a story in kindergarten where I guess I got in trouble a lot as a kid, but it was like I wasn't trying to be bad, and I wasn't like, not that you were trying to be bad, but I wasn't even like purposely making fun of anything. Like I would just talk in class. So we had, I don't know how you had it set up for like getting in trouble in kindergarten or whatever, but we had cards, like laminated cards with our names on them. And it would be green, yellow, and red, and you'd start the day on green, and if you got in trouble, you'd have to take your green card and put it to the back of the stack. So now there's yellow showing under your name. So it's like, Harrison's yellow, better not go to red. So I was on red for whatever I had done that day, and then my teacher was talking, we're doing like a reading aloud or whatever, and I was yapping or something, and she goes, "Harrison, go move your card." And then I just took the red, and I moved it back to the green, and I was like, oh, perfect, this is like a life hack. Which I hate, by the way. I think I just remember asking, like, I'm already on red, what do I do? Oh, man. Yeah, that was funny. Sorry. Okay, back to you.
No, but, yeah, like, we didn't really do that. But I remember in I think it was kindergarten, like, we would always, like, sit on the carpet or whatever, and we'd read one of those small booklets or whatever, like the story every day. But we had a rule in that class. And again, this is me being afraid of getting in trouble, not really getting in trouble. But we had a rule because we would go around and everyone would read a sentence or two or whatever. And if we went around and you didn't know where we were in the book, like you weren't paying attention, that's 5 minutes off recess. So that was the rule.
That's a lot.
And I know, but even after reading, like even after going through and if I didn't screw up, like I read my sentence fine, like the teachers, like we would all go back to our desk and we had the teacher and the assistant and they would talk between that time. I would just sit at my desk and I'd like be shaking out of anxiety. Like, I think they're talking about me. I think they think I didn't know where we were and I just guessed. Like that's what I was thinking in my mind. Like, and I would like picture them saying like, I don't think Colin really knew where we were. That's 5 minutes. like I would envision those conversations.
Oh my God.
From across the room. Like, I know, like something was wrong with me. Like I was deathly afraid of getting in the tiniest bit of trouble. Like I would just sit at my desk as a 2-year-old and shaking out of fear.
Well, I don't have anything to say about that. I would go to the doctor and get your head checked out.
I think so.
Just kidding. But there was a time I haven't even gotten into the ones I wrote down. This is now, we're just going to go all from kindergarten all the way to high school. But another one I had, and this wasn't trouble either, so maybe I shouldn't even say it. But there was this, I was at recess one time and this girl ran up to me. This is like third grade, or first grade actually. It was my first grade teacher. This girl ran up to me and was like, "Harrison, Steve just hit me. Can you go tell Mrs. Lockman?" And then I walked up to Miss Lockman. I was like, "Mrs. Lockman, Steve just hit Lexi." And then my teacher just went, "Harrison, don't tattle." Okay. I'm done with helping women then.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I couldn't believe it. Even as a kid, I was like, damn, something's wrong here. But I moved on and I never tattled ever again.
Yep. Yeah, that's funny. What teacher would say that?
I don't know. That's awesome though.
Wait, how old were you again? When was that?
6, first grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, now I'm just thinking of all the grade school stories. This is just a quick one. I was on the swings once and jumped off real high and I just landed right on top of another girl. Just crushed her. I killed her.
Say, get out of the way.
Thanks for the soft landing, fatty.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you never told me that. That's a good one.
You saved me from the mulch thing.
Whoa, that was close. Thanks.
I just hit my head on the green screen. Yeah, that could have been bad. I almost got a splitter. Thanks a lot. She just stands up with all the mulch just sticking out back with elementary school just had wood shavings to land in.
Yeah.
Okay, just tree bark. Yeah. Oh my god. All right, unless you have another elementary school one. If you don't want to, we can move on from
No, that's all I got.
first grade.
That's all I got when I was young. But so like an actual one, and again, I didn't do anything crazy to get in like major trouble. So hopefully these stories aren't lame what I'm doing, because they're not like huge trouble.
Yeah.
But so this one was 6th grade, and it was so what we did in 6th grade was we had like a courtyard behind the school, and on Fridays, if you didn't get in trouble, like something written in your agendas that we had by a teacher, then you would go out and just run around for the last like hour or whatever of school. So we had free Friday. So it was Friday of a week. Nothing was written in my agenda, so I was all ready for free Friday at the end of the day. So I like wore my sneakers and everything. I was all ready. And then the last class of the day was English class, and we had an assignment to do, and I had it all done. And then we sat down at our desk, and one of my friends, it wasn't like a good friend of mine, it was someone like I was kind of friends with. He was like, "Oh, I didn't do it. Colin, can you please give me yours so I can copy down the answers?" And I was like, no way. And then he was like, "Come on, man." And this is what he said.
Wait, when was it? How old were you with this?
This was 6th grade.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he said, "Come on, man. I thought you were my friend." That's what he kept saying. "I thought you were my friend. I would do the same for you." And then he got me. I'm like, you know what? He's right. I'm being a bad friend. And this was before class. We were sitting down in the class before the teacher came in. Like she was out in the hall waiting or whatever. So I gave him my paper, and he starts copying it down. And then she walks in, and she just walks directly to his desk, grabs his homework, and just rips it up.
Oh my gosh, that's
like,
cool.
Oh. Yep, and I was like, "Oh, you got caught. That's what you get."
You're like, "Oh, that was almost my homework. Thank God she's not suspecting anything right now."
Yeah. And then he was all mad, and he just gave me my paper back. And that was the last period of the day. So when we went to our like advisory, I think we called it, like our last class, the teacher goes around and checks your agenda if there's any markings from the teachers if you're good for free Friday or not. So she comes to mine, and then she says, "You can't go out today." And I was like, "I don't have any markings. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Well, Mrs. whatever, I can't even remember." She said, "Well, she said, even though you didn't cheat, you gave him the paper. So you're also in trouble." And I was like, "What?" Like I was so mad. And guess what? I just started crying. Even I was way too old to start crying at that point, but I just started crying because I wasn't going to go outside for free Friday. So, so like the people who couldn't go outside were just sent to a random room, and we would just read or whatever.
Yeah, I just imagine like that class from Drake and Josh, where it's like the two goth girls and the kids, like teachers just swinging upside down.
Yeah, that's what was going on in those classes.
Paper
that's what I was envisioning. Probably, I'm like, I can't go in there. I don't belong in there. But so yeah, I was waiting in line, like out in the hall, to go into that room while all my friends were going outside for free Friday. Like, "What are you doing, Colin? Why are you going in there?" Like, and I'm just in the hall crying. Everyone can see me crying because I'm a giant baby. But so I go in the room, and I'm in there reading, still crying. I swear to God, I was crying the whole time. And I'm reading my book, and I look up out the window, and you can see the courtyard outside. So I can see everyone running around from the room I'm in reading. And I look up, and I see the kid who copied my homework outside running around. I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me? Why is he outside? Why am I the one in trouble right now?"
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, well, because the teacher ripped it up before he had the chance to cheat." So he actually got off.
I remember being so, like, I went from sad to just pure anger. I'm like,
"Oh,
this has to be a joke." I literally am just watching him run around right now, and I'm in here reading my reading book for letting him copy my homework.
Yeah, that is freaking funny. That's
yeah. But yeah, that was that one.
This is another elementary school one. I feel bad, but it was right when I learned what the F word was, and I did a spelling test, and my teacher was walking around to collect the tests, and before she grabbed mine, on the back of it, I just wrote F-U-C-K, and then she started walking and picking it up, and then I just started erasing it as hard as I could, and I just had to turn it in and just like kind of like what you were saying about the books, except I actually did something wrong where I'm just like, please don't see that I said that. Please don't see that I wrote that, because I don't know if they're going to get like a CSI guy in to like, scribble over the top of the page, and it just emerges like the F word on the back. How does the 6-year-old know what this word is? Then they call my parents, and they're like, "Did you teach your son this bad word? You're going to jail." Anyway, didn't get in trouble for that though, luckily.
Oh,
but
nice.
I certainly was trying to. I think I had a death wish as a young child.
Yeah, you were on the edge there. You were really pushing it.
But I'll move on to a high school story. This is a short one. One time, our school had, what the hell am I trying to say? A tunnel? I don't know. It was 2 separate buildings. It was what used to be our old middle school and then our current high school. Where we built a connector hallway between the 2 of them, and that connector hallway had like a door to the outside. And usually, if you were late for school, you'd have to go through the office so they could mark you as late and blah blah blah. But I was walking to class late, I guess. I was in this hallway, and I was already supposed to be in class. And this girl I knew her sister, and her sister was hot, so I was trying to score some points. This girl started knocking on the door, and I recognized her, but I knew she was late, but I was just going to do her a solid so that she didn't get a late pass. This is senior year of high school. I opened the door, and she just like, thanks, and runs in. And then I didn't know, but there was a big fat lady behind me, and she just goes, "Excuse me." And I'm like, oh, God. She goes, "What's your name?" And I was just like, "Read the sign, lady. Harrison Brinker show. Hello." So I was just like, Harrison Brinker. I should have said like Jason Seeger or something like that just to screw with one of my friends. Because, yeah, I gave her my name, and then next period, I get a phone call from the office, and I had to go down and explain myself. And they're going through this whole thing of like, if you just let anybody in, you're letting in a murderer. I'm like, well, not really. I recognized the girl, and if she had a shotgun in her pants, then you're not going to stop it. Like, you know what I mean? What would the difference have been? Anyway, yes, I let her in.
You said
sneak in.
So that was high school, right?
Yeah, that was senior year.
Okay. Well, do you know who that lady, the big lady was that yelled at you? Was she a teacher?
No, I didn't recognize her. But it was someone high up. I think it must have been someone real high up because I didn't even know her.
Oh.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was just someone that worked in the office, but I didn't go in there enough to recognize anybody. But she knew that I was breaking the rules.
She also, I kind of get her reasoning if you're in high school and you see someone let someone in. But at the same time, like, you got to think like, okay, I see a young kid and he's letting a girl into the school. It's like, let him try to be nice to the girl. Like, she sees that happening.
Right, it's
and then
chivalry.
Say, hey, what are you doing? Don't do that. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. This
Back
is exactly what happened in first grade when I told that teacher that the girl was getting punched, and they told me not to bother. Now I see a young woman in distress. Just gets out of this pumpkin carriage. She's only wearing one glass slipper, and she's like, "Help me, help me! I'm looking for Prince Charming." And I open the door. I go, "He's out. He's in your homeroom." And then they reprimand me. I'm done doing favors for girls. I mean, it's every time I got into trouble has been because of that.
That's what you get for not learning your lesson when you were tattling earlier. Like, yeah, don't do. If you do the right thing, you're gonna get screamed at.
That's what I should have turned around to that teacher who was like, "What's your name?" I should have just been like, "Don't tattle. Are you gonna tattle on me?"
God, yeah, that's annoying. That would have made. Yeah, I would have been so mad at that teacher.
Well, especially, and I kind of was just mad at the girl, where I'm like, "Are you kidding?" Like, kind of like how you got that kid cheated off you, and it's just like, great. Now I got to go to the office because this girl got to school late. Thank you. Like, what was it? But could you, sorry, go ahead.
Well, did the girl you let in see you get in trouble, and then she just kept walking?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't remember. As I told the story, I remember her getting in trouble with me. I kind of told it out of.
Oh, okay.
I got ahead of myself when I said she walked away, but I mean, nothing happened with the two of them. It would have been a cooler story if we were both stuck in the office, just like, so what's your story? And then we fall in love, but it was unnecessary.
Because what the girl should have done was say, "Why is he in trouble? He was just letting me in. I'm late." Like, that's what she should have said, something on your behalf.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, and it's also like, what would you have rather me done? Like, this nice young girl is looking for help, and then I just go, "See ya, bitch."
Yeah, you just look at her and then look at your watch and then just walk forward.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's not a way to treat people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I sure hope she's not a school shooter, obviously. But, like, that's just not nice to do, to just walk by and be like, sorry, rules are rules. You got to go to the office, whore. Like, no, I'm going to open the door for you. But you owe me a kiss on the lips for getting in trouble. It's annoying. Sullied my record. My clean streak of not getting sent to the principal's office.
I know that lady's doing too much. Like, what she should have said was, do you know who that was? Then you say, yeah. Then it's like, okay, well, she should be going through the office, but whatever.
Yeah.
But that's all it should have been. Not, what are you doing? Come with me,
I think
please.
It's probably because no one's ever held a door open for her, because you need to get the double doors and to get the middle beam out to be able to fit her fat ass
Maybe
through
that's
them.
what it is. Maybe she's mad. No one holds the door open for her, so she's going to take it out on all these students that do it for each other. That's probably it.
Because I held the door because the girl was like 10 feet away walking in. I opened the door. And the fat lady knew, like, if I was that close to the door, it'd still take me 20 minutes to get there. So no one even bothered. Yeah. If that lady's watching, screw you, lady.
Screw you. But yeah, that's annoying. That would make me mad.
Yeah, it made me mad.
Well, let's see. Well, this one isn't in school. This one was at a friend's house. I'm trying to think how old we were. We were in like 6th or 7th grade. Around the same time of the story I just told. We were in middle school or elementary school. We haven't quite gotten to middle school yet. Not important. But we were hanging out at a friend's house, and it was a giant house. So we would all have, like, he would invite a ton of people over, and we would just hang out in his basement. That was gigantic. And then one day, there were two guys that were mad at each other, and we kept like, just fight each other. So like, all right, we will fight. So they started fighting, and we're all gathered around like in a circle, sort of like in the corner of the room, watching them, like screaming, like, use the wall. Like we
poke
kept
his eyes
stuff
out.
like that. Yeah. So they were going at it, and again, we kept screaming, use the wall. And then
like in what way?
Like as leverage, I guess. Like pin him against the wall, bash his head against the wall, whatever, stuff like that.
Bounce off the ropes like in wrestling, like you try to bounce off, just fall right through.
Yeah, but just imagine all of us gathered around watching and cheering as they're fighting.
Yeah.
And then one of them like takes him and like throws him against the wall and hit like his butt into the wall. And this is what his butt goes straight through the wall, and he puts a hole in it. Like he's like stuck in there, like butt in, and we're like, oh my god, what
atoms aligned. Yeah.
Yes. So the whoever's house it was, he went upstairs because he's like, he has to tell his parents because they were home.
Yeah.
And
is this someone I know? This house? Have I been there before?
I don't think you've been there, but you would know who it is, probably.
Okay.
But no, you haven't been there. So he went up to talk to his parents, and he was up there for a while because he was getting screamed at, I'm sure. And then he comes down all sad, and then we're all waiting down there because we know we're about to get yelled at.
Right.
So the dad comes down, and this is all he says. He just says, "Gentlemen, we don't put holes in walls." And that was literally it. And then we were just all quiet the rest of the night, and then we weren't allowed to go hang out there for like a month or something like that. But yeah, that's more of a funny story. I mean, we didn't really get in trouble, but it was funny. Like we destroyed their wall. So yeah.
Yeah. He took it all out of Yeah. The son comes down just like crying with like you've red marks all over him, and then the dad's like, "We don't put holes in walls," and you're like, "That's all your dad said to you," and you're crying. Oh man, I couldn't even imagine. I'd be freaking out. Yeah, I don't have anything. I have never broken anybody else's stuff, I don't think. I guess I have plenty of stories, but to save this from being like a 2-hour episode, maybe we could save some for others. But
Okay.
I have 2 more at least for today.
All right.
The one I'll save a high school story for the end. One time, for my senior year, I wanted to drink some beer. I wanted to celebrate. I've told you this story before. I wanted to celebrate New Year's Eve with my friends with a case of beer. And it was the first time any of us had drank. And we got a case of beer. I filled a mini fridge in my basement up with like 36 cans of Heineken. And me and my 2 other friends, all cracked open one, took a sip, and immediately were like, "Ew, I don't want to get it all. Give me a Hawaiian punch." So we put all the beer back. And by the end, like they leave the next night, and I put all the beer. Like I couldn't keep it in this fridge, so I put it all into a duffel bag and put it in my closet. So it was already skunked, but whatever. It's your first beer; you don't care what it tastes like, and the alcohol is not going anywhere. But throughout like the next month, I would like slowly, one by one, try to finish these beers off because I'm like, I'm not even trying to get drunk. I'm just trying to get rid of the evidence. Like I don't want my mom to find this pillowcase full of beer in my closet. So I would drink a beer, and then I realized after it's finished, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this can? Like, I can't just put it in the recycling. Like, my mom doesn't drink. My dad doesn't drink. Where am I? There's just going to be beer cans in the trash now. So I'm not going to blame it on my brother. He was like 12. So, well, that would have been a good, he probably would have gotten in a lot of trouble. Would have gotten the attention off of me for a while. But I realized what I should do is I should crush the cans and then put them into the mini fridge, into the freezer section of the mini fridge, because the mini fridge wasn't being used. I kind of had the basement to myself, and the mini fridge wasn't even plugged in. In fact, we had our futon pinned in front of the mini fridge, so you couldn't even open it. So I figured I would slide it out of the way, put these empty beer cans crushed down inside, and then whatever. I was still drinking them, and then one of these nights I had 2 beers I wanted to drink, so I just went down to the basement to play Xbox, and I put 2 beers in the fridge, and there was a couple of crushed cans already in the freezer. And I don't know what the heck happened, but I forgot to drink those beers, or I didn't get around to them. And I'm at work the next day, and I get a text from my mom of just a picture of the freezer with 4 crushed beer cans and 2 full beers. She goes, "What is this?" And I didn't know what to say, so I just wrote, exactly what you think it is. And then I went into this whole thing, because then my dad's like, "What are you thinking?" And then I'm just like, "What do you want me to say?" Like, I'm thinking what you were thinking when you were 18. I mean, I'm sorry that I got caught, but isn't it kind of good to know your son's cool? You know what I mean? I like to drink beer, Dad. Just kidding. You should never drink underage. And then this is what'll happen to you. And then, so I went back home, and my mom was ready to give me 40 lashes and put me on her mantle. So my punishment was I had to flush these beers down the toilet, or down the sink, or whatever. So she grabbed the 4 crushed cans and the 2 full beers, and gave me the 2 full beers, and was like, "Okay, time to flush them down the sink. Say goodbye to your stash." And this is where I got lucky, if you haven't been able to put it together, because there was 4 beers crushed and 2 about to be drank. She thought that I had a 6-pack of beer. Little did she know, I had about 25 upstairs waiting to be swigged on. So I was like, this is easy. This is no problem. I don't even like beer. I just wanted to get rid of them. This is actually helping me a lot more than you think. Anyway, so that was all. But little did they know that I had a whole stash, and it was just, I had plenty of beer. It wasn't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that story.
That's a good answer when you get in trouble, or when they caught you. You said, I'm thinking the same thing you were thinking when you were my age. Is that actually what you said to them?
That is what I said. I don't recommend saying that. I think they thought I was an asshole for saying that, but it seemed cool at the time.
It's a good answer.
I mean, from my perspective, it was cool, or a good answer, but I'm sure from theirs, that's all that matters, is what they think, because they're the one in charge of whether or not I can drive the car or whatever. So I'm sure they would have liked me to kiss their ass a little more, but in reality, I think it was a good answer. Like, come on, how mad can you be? I was drinking a beer. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't drinking it in the car with a police officer on the phone.
Right.
I was sipping in the basement playing Grand Theft Auto. I was driving drunk in Grand Theft Auto, don't get me wrong. But that's kind of the point of the game. I'll serve it back to you, Colin.
Okay. I have, this one's a quicker one, but this one's good. So this involves the person from our first interview where we pooped in the diaper on vacation. It involves that person.
Well, don't say we pooped in the diaper. It was one guy who did that.
Him. Yes, this guy pooped in the diaper. So, yeah, and again, this was 4th grade. And he was coming, but he came over just to come over to my house, and we would hang out. And I don't think my parents, they had to go somewhere. So we just had the house to ourselves. I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And then we were just kicking, there was a soccer ball in the living room or whatever. And he kicked it as hard as he could for some reason. And it hit a thin table, or a narrow tall table that had a base on top. Hit that, base falls off and shatters. So I'm like
classic
oh, great.
cartoon.
Yeah, I'm like, great. That's what you get. What are you thinking kicking that soccer? Yeah, and my parents are home, and we shatter the vase. Like, they trusted us to be home alone, and this is what we do.
I mean, so this is literally like out of a book.
Yeah, I know. But so
don't do anything while we're gone, Colin.
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry. So the first thing, you're right though. But we were trying to think like, okay, what do we do? Like first we got like the hot glue stick, and we're like, okay, we'll glue
I was going to say that. That's what they do in the book.
I know, you're right. This is like a cartoon story. So we tried to hot glue it back together, but we're like, this is there's a million pieces. Even if we got it somehow together, it's clearly a broken base. So this is not going to work. So we were like, okay, option 2. And I don't know whose idea it was, but we said, okay, we'll get the trash bag.
We're like, wait. Let me guess. Your neighbor has the exact same vase, and you have to sneak into their house and make the switch.
That's what we should have done.
That's what they did in the book. Sorry, go ahead.
But so we said, okay, we'll get the trash bag, put all the broken pieces in the trash bag, and we'll bury it in the front yard. So that's what we did. So we went outside, dug a hole, like not far from the house. Like if you can picture my house, like there's the little patch of mulch before the grass.
Yeah.
Point is, very close to the house. So we dug a hole
touching the
there,
house.
And not a deep hole, like just deep enough to cover the garbage bag. So we buried it, put it back. Nothing happened. And then like a month or two later, like my mom walks in the front door with the garbage bag. She's like, "What is this?" And then like, I don't know. Well, what even is that? So I tried to play dumb, but it was
a garbage bag, Mom. I'm going to bed. See you later.
But yeah, eventually I told her what happened, and then yeah, that kid was banned from my house, and he's been banned from my house like 10 separate occasions.
Well, so what?
Yeah,
what was she wasn't like, in the meantime, was she asking, where's my vase?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember that. I'm sure she was just saying, where'd the space go? And then I just played dumb, like, I don't know where that, I have no idea. So I somehow got out of it, but then she found it shattered in the hole.
Oh my God, that is funny.
Yeah, you're right. That's pure cartoon story. The first half of it.
The second half of it, you buried it in the front yard.
Oh yeah, you're right. And the second.
I mean, that whole story is hilarious. Well, I can't top that in terms of funny, but this isn't even bad. I want to say like this is the most trouble I've gotten in, but I just mean I went to the principal's office and that was it. Not to spoil it. Mm-hmm. I was trying to. I remember times in middle school I'd gotten lunch detention. But I don't even remember why. And I'm going to hope it's just because I turned in work late or something. Like, if I did something bad that got lunch attention, I don't even remember it. And I kind of feel bad that I'm just like, didn't mean anything to me. But my senior year, I was always upset that our high school yearbook didn't have a superlative list. Because I don't know, no one knows where I went to high school, but our high school was like world renowned for our yearbook. Like, we'd go to yearbook festivals or yearbook competitions and win every year. And it's just like, great. So it was just all everything cool you need in a year, or everything official, everything the government would like in a yearbook, ours had it. But it wasn't anything cool. It was just like well formatted. So I was always upset that we didn't have superlatives because I thought of myself as a funny guy and I wanted everyone to know it. So I was kind of upset that no one ever acknowledged like, hey, he has the best smile, or he would be the cutest couple or whatever. He's most likely to be famous. So I was surprised that my senior year for homecoming, pep rally, the guy in charge of the student senate, the teacher in charge of it, had made a Google form list through the school for superlatives, and it was just a handful. I think it was only 4. It was like most spirited, funniest, best athlete, and something else I can't even remember. Biggest wimp or something. And I was upset that there wasn't more on this list. Like, hey, I'm grateful that this is even getting brought up, but it's not even in the yearbook. Like, it's not good enough to be put in the yearbook. Like, if we're just going to make a Google form, let's make as many as we can. So then that's where I got the bright idea to make my own superlative list. It was just on Google Forms. You just needed the link. So I made my own list, and it started out innocent enough, like, best smile, best couple, best hair, funniest, craziest. And then it started going like ugliest, worst handwriting, biggest idiot, like just stuff like that. So then I sent a tweet out. I have the tweet somewhere, actually. I'm not going to find it. I have the tweet. Maybe I'll put it right here in this, wherever on the screen. And it was just like, this is the official. Whoops, I just gave away my high school. This is the official boop superlative list. Sorry. And what do you know? A handful of people responded and gave some answers. And most of the answers, admittedly, were just my 8 friends. And all their answers were just each one of the other 8 guys. So it really was not that bad, but it was just a funny, like, people knew that I did it, but no one really answered it. I think there was only 2 or 3 people that answered it with, like, real answers where it's like, oh, I wouldn't share that with anybody. And I didn't. I was polite enough not to share the results. Anyway, some stupid bitch figured out that I had made this and told the principal on me. So I was warned about it. I don't remember how it happened, but it's kind of like, I don't even know what to compare it to. I guess maybe the FBI or someone would do this. Like, I had an inside man be like, hey, 9 o'clock today, you're going to get a phone call. And 9 o'clock rolls around and bling, bling, bling. The homeroom teacher's like, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I'll send them down. I'm like, oh, great. So they're like, yeah, Harrison, go down to the principal's office.
When that phone call happened, you knew, okay, this is about me.
Yeah.
Is that what you were thinking? Okay.
Yeah. Because I had it happened. It was a girl told her first period teacher, and that teacher told the principal. So some kid that was in that first period class heard it and told me before this happened. So he's like, okay, be ready for this to go down. And I go down to the principal's office. And I explained myself, hey, how's it going? I've been down here a couple times. Side note, here's a funny thing that happened. I had gone to the principal's office like 3 or 4 times, and every single time I had gone, their response was, "Oh, since it's your first time down here, we're gonna let it slide." So I should have gotten in a lot more trouble, but they just always forgot that I had been there like literally 2 weeks before. And so I go down there again, expecting it to be easy, and just my principal is just like, so you made this list, that's not very funny. And I said, well, I made it. I said in the tweet that it's not connected to the administration. And then he took me super literal and went, well, it's not administration, it's Senate. I was like, great, thanks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it has nothing to do with anything. And it's just for me. Yeah. So he didn't buy that. But then he said, and this was like, I don't even remember what. No, oh, sorry. A kid in the middle school, God rest his soul, had killed himself for bullying. I didn't know the kid or anything, but I knew that had recently happened, like when this story happened. And my principal used that to his advantage. If the family's listening and thinks it's offensive that I brought that up, listen to what the principal did. I made a harmless joke, and the principal said, this is literally what he said. This was my punishment. He said, Harrison, if what you say on Twitter leads someone to doing what happened in the middle school a couple of days ago, that's on you. I'm thinking, all right, well, I'm going, that's psychotic. I don't think anything I said
how did you respond to that when he said that?
I just laughed at his face. I think I was just like, oh, okay.
Just in shock, yeah.
Yeah, like, all right, yeah, that would be pretty bad. And he's like, all right, Scamp, get the hell out of here. And then he grabbed a towel and whipped me on the ass while I ran out of his office. But no, that was my punishment, was just having, if something went wrong, you'd have to live with this on your conscience forever. And I lived with it forever, but just to laugh at it, how crazy that was, but not out of sadness or anything. But yeah, that was, and I don't want to make it sound like that's the most trouble I got, and it wasn't, but that was like the most high profile thing I had done that got the attention of the school.
Yeah.
Because
did they make you? Sorry, I don't know if you said this already, but did they make you take it down?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, that's a good question. They made me take it down, and I was going to say this because I said earlier I'll pull the tweet up. I don't even think that tweet exists. I think I deleted them, which I'm upset that if I had to do it again today, if I was going to high school 6 years later and I was still as cool as I was back then, I'd be the only 23-year-old walking around with a jean jacket. I would not delete it. Don't delete it. If you're a fun-loving guy in high school watching this right now, commit to the bit. Even if someone says they're gonna kill themselves over it, say that's on you, buddy. That ain't me. And then you leave the tweet up and just cherish it because you'll look back and wish you had that. Yeah, that was all. Yeah, I had to delete the tweet, and then I think that got me into some trouble. There's a couple other things I had done that year that got me into hot water.
Well, real quick, when, I know you said your friends, you knew it was your friends in the Google Doc mostly doing it, but do you know if any random people found it and were voting or no?
No, I knew everyone that had voted in it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Random, there was people outside of my friend group, but it was still people I knew well enough that it wasn't like, oh, you're taking this too seriously. It was just that their answers were not inside jokes. They were actual jokes. But I knew everyone that had responded to it. And it was 8 people. It was my friends and a couple other girls. And then but no one knew what the answers were. So this girl that was completely disconnected from it just assumed we were making fun of innocent people. Where it's
I see.
Yeah. Where it's kind of just bugged me because I didn't want to be rude, but I think about it where I'm like, look, lady, you're so not on our radar. Even when we make fun of people, you're not even top of the list. You know what I'm saying? You're so disconnected from this. Just leave it alone. It was just awkward. Anyway, it made me mad. But it learned me a valuable lesson about making rude jokes. And that's you're saying, Harrison, that joke's not very rude. I'd be like, I'm with you. Can you believe someone got offended by that and had to tell on me? We were 18. We all thought we were the, bigger in our britches or whatever the phrase is or something. Our britches were big or something. And this girl's bitches were big. She was a big bitch. And she went and told. So it's just funny that everyone in high school thinks they're so mature when they're about to graduate, but it's that's still the kind of shit we were doing where it's oh, excuse me, this guy's making rude jokes to his friends. It's well, then he better go to the principal's office and someone's gonna kill themselves. I'm okay.
See, the perfect ending to your high school career would have been when that girl told on you and the principal said, "Don't tattle." That's what he should have said.
Well, that's beautiful. Do you have any other stories?
No, I mean, I those are my main ones. I don't have anything good.
Well, then that's a very funny way to end it, Colin. You're right. That would have been beautiful if it all came full circle like that. But thank you. Like I said, sitting down and I've written down 4 more since we sat down. So I know if we go longer, it'll be another hour and a half long interview. So let's save these for another episode. And that's all. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your stories were funnier than mine, by the way. I might have had more and rambled on a little longer, but that burying your vase in your front yard is hilarious. So nobody forget about that. Thank you, Colin, for joining, and we'll see you next week, sir.
Yep. See you later.
See ya.